Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. Woo, you guys. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest, Hat and Beard, where my pronouns are savage. I identify as sexy. I've got a face for radio and one that only a mother could love. I am so glad you guys decided to tune back in after an exciting week 3 in the NFL. Woo-wee, guys, it is good to be on the winning side of things. For those of you that don't know, we support the Detroit Lions around here. It is our home team, and boy, does it feel good to right the ship, get to 2-1 after a big win against the Atlanta Falcons, the 2-0 Atlanta Falcons, who were looking to make some noise in the NFC South, but hey, they ran into a buzzsaw that was Aaron Glenn's defense. Everyone, we had some questions going into this game. They were all answered. We will talk about that more tomorrow with our Lions hometown cooking wrap-up show, you guys. So make sure to tune into that, where we dive into the Detroit Lions performance against the Falcons, as well as our Week 4 Thursday night matchup. That's right, we got a short turnaround coming up Thursday night. We got to travel to Lambeau for a divisional matchup against the Green Bay Packers. But we're not here to talk about that today, you guys. No. This is our first episode of the week, which means we are going to be diving into the scores from around the league, you guys. That's right, we're going to be diving into all the games from around the league, as well as giving out my Week 3 winners and losers. On top of that, I will let you guys know what's really salting my nuts this week with my favorite segment of the week called Hat and Beard Salted Nuts. So, guys, before we get into it, do me a huge solid. Go ahead and smash like on the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and go ahead and do yourselves a favor. Ring that little notification bell so that you never miss out on any segments coming out of the Hat and Beard Show. Now that all that's out of the way, you guys, let's go ahead and go around the league with Hat and Beard.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
All right, you guys, we got a whole slate of games to get through. We're still in Week 3, which means no bye weeks, you guys. So we got a whole full lineup of games to get through. Let's go ahead and kick it back to Thursday night, where we're going to have the G-Men. They stayed out west to square off against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers traditionally known for a slow starting team, but not this year. They moved to 3-0 with just a shellacking of the New York Giants, 30-12. The San Francisco 49ers look to be the most complete team in all of football, regardless if the Giants had Squan or not. I just don't see them coming out of this game ahead at all. That was just a beatdown. I know that I called for the spread to be a little bit tighter than that, but you guys, I just didn't think that the Giants were going to come out and look as flat as they did Thursday night against the 49ers. Now, granted, the 49ers are a complete unit, and as I stated, they are the best team in all of football. But the San Francisco 49ers last Thursday night go ahead and beat the G-Men 30-20. Next game, we're going to take it right down to Ford Field for our hometown Detroit Lions squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons. You guys, this was Vegas had, I think, a 3-point spread in this game, and it turned out to be just a absolute dominant performance by the Detroit Lions in all aspects. Even when there was stuff to be left on the field, points to be left on the board, the Detroit Lions capitalized on nearly every single possession. And our defense is the team that is the squad that won us this game. Our defense is the squad that went out and took control of this game. And when it mattered most, they made the plays that needed to be made. So big shout out to the Detroit Lions, moving to 2-1 with a 20-6 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Next game, the LA Chargers went to Minnesota to square off against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm having a hard time with my words today, you guys. I'm a little congested. And in a game that nobody really seemed to want to win, the Chargers managed to come out ahead 28-24. Unfortunately for Chargers fans, they do get the W, but that means that Brandon Staley gets to keep his job for at least another week. I think you guys all know where I'm going with this. They need to move on from Brandon Staley, and probably interim will be Kellen Moore. But until you guys put a couple more losses in the L column, I don't see Brandon Staley being justifiably terminated, although you guys do have bad coaching. Same goes for the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is not the problem in Minnesota. Your defense and your lack of running game is the problem in Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell seems to have hit a sophomore slump in his coaching development and needs to figure it out, because Kirk Cousins is putting up Pro Bowl-esque numbers. If you looked at the box score, you'd think the Minnesota Vikings actually won this game based on Cousins' performance alone. However, Their defense just lets them down. Chargers win 28-24. Next game, we're going to go to Green Bay and the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints jumped out to a nice 17-0 lead early on in Lambeau. But unfortunately, Derek Carr got knocked out of the game with a pretty serious shoulder injury, and in came Jameis Winston. And Lord knows that is not what Saint fans need to see. Unfortunately for the New Orleans Saints, the Green Bay Packers proceeded behind Jordan Love to put up 18 unanswered points in the second half. They came out with a narrow victory at home against the New Orleans Saints to move to 2-1. The Green Bay Packers 18-17 against the New Orleans Saints. Next game, the Houston Texans going down to Duval to square off against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it did not look good, you guys. It did not look good for Jacksonville. Just 2 weeks in a row, 2 weeks in a row, the Jaguars' offensive performance has not been where it should. Early on in the season, I had the Jags win in the South and Trevor Lawrence to be in MVP contention. However, the Houston Texans under rookie head coach DeMeco Ryans, rookie quarterback CJ Stroud, all the rookies, all the young guns showed out for Houston. They were able to capitalize on some miscues by Jacksonville and bottled up the Jacksonville offense, resulting in a 20-point win on the road in the division. Man, it's got to be tough to be a Jacksonville fan, you guys. You were walking into a down AFC South this year. This was your division for the taking, and Houston comes away 37-17. Jacksonville fans, man, you know, you guys do have a very winnable division. You're just going to have to really turn the ship around, and that is, it's getting tighter and tighter. That window's getting smaller and smaller. But Houston, good on you, getting an early divisional win on the road, no less. I like DeMeco Ryans. I like what he's doing there, and maybe CJ Stroud can finally break that Ohio State quarterback slump. Next game, if you even want to call it a game, man, you guys, let's go to South Beach, Florida, where the Miami Dolphins were playing host to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, you guys recall last week, narrowly lost the game to the Washington Commies in a overtime 2-point conversion PI that didn't get called, which could have extended the game. However, it wasn't going to come down to a last-minute Hail Mary attempt by Russ Wilson in this game. Nope, the Dolphins score on 10 offensive possessions. And it wasn't lopsided. They decided to go real balanced with it. Count it. 5 rushing touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns. That is right, you guys. The Miami Dolphins put up 70 points. 70 points on the hapless Denver Broncos, who, looking at the future for the Denver Broncos, you guys gave up so much trade capital to bring in Russ Wilson and that ginormous contract, and Russ Wilson can't cook. Russ Wilson is a leftover rooftop Heisenberg pizza at this point, you guys. Miami went out and put Madden numbers up. You guys, I got to admit, I really like what's going on in Miami. I really like Tua Tagovailoa this season. I like his vibes. I like his energy. I like where he's at. I like watching Tyreek Hill play football. That guy is electrifying. They did this without their number 2 wide receiver in Jalen Waddle. They do not have a lights-out running back. Some thought that they needed to bring in a running back during training camp, but no. We went with Raheem Mostert. Colonel Mustard himself holding it down. And Tua Tagovailoa just is a perfect mind meld with Mike McDaniels. Those guys seem to just be lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Mike McDaniel, man, I really like that guy. I really like that guy. I think he's hilarious on camera. I think he's hilarious even off camera when he was sprinting away from the interview against week 2 against New England. I like what's going on in Miami. I think the East is theirs to take. However, they will have a tough matchup week 4 against the Bills. We'll see. I don't know if the Bills have the punch. If the Bills can stop Miami a little bit, but if they get into a track meet, I don't think the Bills have the punch to keep up with that electrifying Miami offense. 70 points. 70-20 is going to be your final. Miami over the Broncos. Next game, Tennessee traveling to Cleveland to play against the Cleveland Browns. What were they going to do without Nick Chubb? How were they going to survive without Nick Chubb? Kareem Hunt was going to be on a pitch count. How were the Cleveland Browns going to bounce back after the devastation that was Nick Chubb's knee and the floundering Deshaun Watson? Although he did look bad at times, Deshaun Watson showed flashes of why the Cleveland Browns gave him that astronomical contract to come over despite his off-the-field issues. The Cleveland Browns take advantage of a hapless, just a absolutely hapless Tennessee Titans offense. They couldn't do anything. Nothing worked out for them. Not the running game, not the passing game. Every aspect of the Titans offense looked borderline inept, and that is hard for me to say because I am such a big closeted Titans fan, you guys. I know I'm a big Lions fan over here, but I do love the Tennessee Titans. I think back to the glory days of Steve Aaron McNair, Eddie George, Frank Wycheck, Derek Mason, Javon Curse, the freak. Man, the Music City Miracle was good times to be alive, you guys. But unfortunately, we are in some dark times for Tennessee Titans fans. They're going to go ahead and absolutely get mollywomped in Cleveland, 27-3. Next game, the Buffalo Bills headed off to square off against the Washington Commies, you guys. You guys know last week I was really high on the Washington Commies after their big win on the road in Denver. I thought Sam Howell did a nice job and had a little bit of spark to him. Eric Bieniemy was going to call a good game and make this a solid competition between the Washington Commies and the Buffalo Bills. However, Josh Allen and company had other ideas. They came to town and dismantled the Washington Commies 37-3. 37-3. The Buffalo Bills absolutely dominant, vying for that second overall spot in the AFC. I don't know who else has the type of firepower right now to keep up with Miami, and it's still a big gap between 1 and 2 right there. Next game, we got the Baltimore Colts traveling to play against the Baltimore Colts. That's right, you guys. We're going old school with this. We're going to go Baltimore Colts versus Baltimore Colts. The Indianapolis Colts traveling to Baltimore square off against the Ravens, and I thought the Ravens were absolutely going to manhandle the Colts. Everything lined up for it pre-game. Leading into the game, we see that there's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of sloppy weather, everything lined up for a dominant rushing performance out of the Baltimore Ravens' entire offense. However, Gardner Minshew had other ideas for the Baltimore Colts, and the Baltimore Colts, despite Gardner Minshew running out of the back of the end zone doing his best Dan Orlovsky impression, the Baltimore Colts beat the Baltimore Colts on the road in Baltimore. Baltimore Colts are going to beat the Baltimore Colts 22-19. Next game, the New England Patriots going to play against the New York Jets. We are having a lot of questions about the Jets coming into this game. How was Zach Wilson going to respond after that embarrassing performance against the Dallas Cowboys in Week 2? Was Zach Wilson going to come out and prove all the haters wrong against possibly one of his biggest opponents in his career, the New England Patriots? And unfortunately, Zach Wilson proved to be exactly what we thought he was, a trash can on legs. And the New York Jets, it's such a waste of talent in New York right now, you guys. It is just a colossal waste of talent in that locker room. It was all hinging upon Aaron Rodgers, and unfortunately, Zach Wilson is just not the guy. Patriots win 15-10. I do want to touch one more time on Zach Wilson, you guys. New York Jets fans, you guys got to hear me out. I am a Lions fan through and through. I suffered through Tim Boyle as our backup and fill-in starter. You have a better chance of winning with Zach Wilson than you do with Tim Boyle. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to go somewhere, you need to make a splash move for, say, Kirk Cousins. But Tim Boyle's not the answer in New York. Next game, we're getting into the afternoon games here, you guys. Seattle Seahawks played host to the Carolina Panthers. Panthers going to be without their number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young. They were going to be starting the big red rocket, Andy Dalton. Unfortunately, that wasn't going to be enough for them to get over the hump. They did connect. Andy Dalton did connect to DJ Shark, former Lion DJ Shark, for a nice little touchdown. However, it wasn't going to be enough. Seattle Seahawks proved to have another dominant rookie class. Pete Carroll is pulling starters out of every round, it seems like, 2 years in a row. And the Seattle Seahawks just thrash the Carolina Panthers 37-27. Next game, the Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't know if you guys were aware or not, but hey, maybe you didn't know T-Swift was in the building representing the Kansas City Chiefs, because her and Travis Kelce are totally banging. Anyway, this game, I'm going to pay as much attention to this as network television did and cut away from it midway through. The Kansas City Chiefs just embarrassed the Bears. Matt Eberflus needs to go. The Bears put up 10. Wasn't going to be enough to overcome the Chiefs 41. Kansas City rolls 41-10 over the Bears. Got two teams in the NFC North sitting at 0-3, and neither one of them named the Detroit Lions. Next game, The Dallas Cowboys headed out to Phoenix to play the Arizona Cardinals in what should have been an absolute beatdown of the Joshua Dobbs-led Arizona Cardinals. Unfortunately for the Dallas Cowboys, after receiving news midweek week 3, that Trayvon Diggs was going to be done for the rest of the year with a tore ACL, they got even more bad news, and they got their pounded by the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals jumped out and never looked back. 28-16, the Cardinals upset the Cowboys, who were the NFC North favorites, or the NFC favorites, Dallas Cowboys, but the Cardinals had other ideas. Scrappy Arizona Cardinals are going to be a pain for a lot of teams moving forward if they keep this up. Cardinals win 28-16 over the Cowboys. Next game, we'll go to the Sunday night prime time. Steelers and Raiders. It doesn't get much more original and old school than the Steelers and the Raiders. Unfortunately, this game put me to sleep midway through the second quarter. It was a boring affair. Steelers win 23-18 in a slop fest out in Vegas. Next game, Monday night doubleheader. First game on the docket. Philadelphia Eagles traveling down to Tampa Bay to square off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Philadelphia showed why they are the second best team in the NFC, thrashing the Buccaneers 25-11. Baker Mayfield throws his first interception of the season. He's actually led all quarterbacks since he came into the league in 2018. Buccaneers fall to the Philadelphia Eagles 25-11. And our final game, our final Monday night wrap-up, we seen the LA Rams, led by big, goofy, white teeth Matt Stafford, heading to Cincinnati to play against the multi-quarter-billion-dollar man Joe Burrow. And hey, Cleveland, Cincinnati fans, you're finally going to get a little bit of value out of that $250 quarterback. You guys managed to put up 19 points, but hey, lucky for you, that was just enough to edge out the LA Rams 19-16 in a Monday night thriller. Woo! That's going to do it for this week, you guys. Let me know what you think down below. This has been Around the League with Hat and Beard. Hey, all right, guys, that was Around the League with Hat and Beard. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Did you call any of those upsets? I was off on a lot of my picks. I thought that my sneaky picks didn't work out, and my sure picks definitely got sneaked on. So I was trying to be too sneaky with it there. Didn't do so well in my picks, but you guys, that's neither here nor there. I might be a big loser, but this week's big winners and losers, let's dive right into it. This week's big losers: the Denver Broncos defense and Broncos Nation as a whole. I feel terrible for you guys. 70 points. Even as a Lions fan who suffered through the dark ages, that's embarrassing. You let up 70 points to a left-handed quarterback. Not that that really matters in today's NFL, but it's just not something you see very often, you guys. I gotta hand it to Mike McDaniels and having just an absolute beautiful offensive scheme drawn up for that game. They took advantage of the Broncos defense left, right, and center. Even with superstar corner Patrick Surtain, Miami was too fast, too quick, too smart, and too on the ball. They wanted it too bad. The Denver Broncos just didn't have the punch to keep up with the Miami Dolphins. Their defense couldn't get off the field, couldn't make any turnovers happen, and Tua Tagovailoa had his way. So this week's big losers are the Broncos D, and with that 70 points, that entire Broncos Nation. Big winners this week, you guys. The big winners this week, we're going to keep it right here in the old backyard. The Detroit Lions 2023 draft class. Whether it be Jahmyr Gibbs holding it down as the lead running back, Jack Campbell getting in the stack department on the stack sheet for the first time this season, in a rare blitzing opportunity for him. He's more of a cover guy, tackle guy, but he was getting some pressures on Desmond Ridder. And let's see, who else performed well? Oh, yeah, that's right. Sam Laporta continues his dominance as a quickly emerging elite tight end, you guys, completely making Lions Nation forget all about TJ Hawkinson and his stupid long hair. You guys, Sam Laporta is the man. Sam Laporta is going to continue to be the man. Sam Laporta is going to have over 1,000 yards receiving and maybe 8 to 10 touchdowns at the rate he's going, you guys. I really like what I've seen out of Sam Laporta. Those three guys were huge splashes, but the most important rookie we have, you guys, is a man who's making a push for Defensive Rookie of the Year early on in this 2023 NFL season, and that is Mr. Brian Branch, you guys. Brian Branch is playing like a third-year veteran. Brian Branch seems to know exactly where he needs to be. He can diagnose plays before they happen. He swats balls away. He makes big hits. He's a solid tackler. He's blowing up plays in the backfield, and he's making coverage stops. Brian Branch is quickly going to become an elite defender in this league, and when you pair him with all of the rest of our young talent that Brad Holmes continues to find round after round after round, Colby Sorsdahl, round after round, draft after draft. Huh. You got to love it, you guys. You got to love when you can just have talent come in year after year. And this draft class seems to be the most beneficial one immediately that Brad Holmes has been able to pick up. Now, I'm not saying that they are the best class when you have future Hall of Fame jacket wearers like Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson and possibly even Brian Branch. I'm just saying that this class already is making more of an immediate impact with volume as a number of players than the past two drafts combined. I really like what I see out of all these rookies. I was really, really, really impressed with Colby Sorsdahl coming in. 5th round player taken from William & Mary, plays guard predominantly, got asked to play right tackle, and not play right tackle against scrubs. He's playing against Bud Dupree the majority of the day. Bud Dupree isn't what Bud Dupree once was, but Bud Dupree is still a very good pass rushing specialist, and he had his hands full. He got beat a couple of times, but Colby Sorsdahl came in and just played lights out. This entire draft class has been solid. We're getting solid production out of every single player at every single level. Everything they've been asked to do, they've been able to do, and then some. You can't ask for much more out of that out of your rookies. So this speaks big winners. The Detroit Lions' entire rookie class, you guys. Give it up for them. Big winners on the week. Big winners on the week, you guys. So that brings me to my final segment, you guys. My final segment, we're going to try and wrap it up here pretty quickly. It is Hat and Beard Salted Nuts, and this is going to be a non-football related things, you guys. It's going to be something that my fellow conservative commentators are going to maybe push back a little bit against. This is going to be a take you don't normally hear. There are certain things that I really actually miss about the COVID-19 era. Think about it what you will, you guys. I think it was a complete, utter amount of BS that was piled upon the American people for nefarious reasons surrounding an election. That's neither here nor there. I do not have my jab. I have no intention of ever getting a jab. Masks don't do anything, so now you know where I stand. There's one big thing that I miss about COVID. During COVID, people were, at the beginning, towards the end, they were crazy with it, but at the beginning, people were really, really conscious about their surroundings, about their personal hygiene, about coughing, about sneezing, because we're all pretending like this is the end of days, like we were all in the Black Plague, like, if you sneeze anywhere near me, you're gonna kill Grandma! Yeah, well, funny how quickly everybody's forgotten that shit. Look, I am tired of walking down a hallway at work or in the aisle of a grocery store or anywhere else, and people are just back to hacking like animals, hacking like savage beasts. I don't know what I should expect out of them, considering 99% of them are wearing flip-flops and sweatpants with grimy, stain-colored shirts that are just wrinkled and gross. They smell like shit, and their hair is all disheveled, shuffling about out in public. Why would I expect them to cough into their elbow? Why would I ever expect anything other than them just coughing aimlessly, hacking up aimlessly into the ether? You guys, the other day I was at work and there was two guys in a corridor. It was a stairwell, actually, that you had to go up one flight of stairs and turn and go up another flight of stairs. So there's a very tight turn radius right there, and there were two guys standing talking to each other as people would normally do, and instead of talking to each other, they started coughing at each other. Bah! And I had to walk right through that. Neither one of them made an attempt to cover their mouth. That's gross. That's just uncourteous. That is just animalistic behavior. You see these things? They make us the dominant species on this planet. You can cover your mouth. Cover your mouth when you cough. Use a tissue when you sneeze. Wash your hands, you guys. Wash your hands. The other day I was at Meijer. And I watched a teenager. There was nothing wrong with him physically. Seemed like a totally normal cat. There with his mom and little brother. I mean, he was taller than me. I'm 6'3". He's taller than me, so he's clearly a teenager. And I watched this cat at the checkout take his hand and shove it down his pants and dig inside of his butthole like he was digging for gold. Oh, what is wrong? Why can we not have nice things? Why? Look, guys, I just do better. Wash your hands, scrub your butt, take a shower, brush your teeth. It's not that complicated. Have slightly higher standards for yourselves. If you have a slightly higher standard for yourself, everybody else, rising tide raises all ships is all I'm saying. So that's going to do it. That's going to do it. I got kind of off the rails there, you guys. I got kind of off the rails. It's just something that's been bugging me for a couple weeks now, really, is just the lack of proper hygiene and awareness. So that's going to do it for me, guys. If you got anything you want to say, go ahead and drop a comment down below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like this video, ring that notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future uploads. Do me another favor. Go ahead and have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And frig off.